I spoke to you, Dr. Cooke, last year in Cancun about your project. Remind me a little bit about the project and how it's advanced since we spoke a year ago.
Well, Future Climate Engineering Solutions is about getting the voice of the engineers into the process of how we reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and particularly how that affects the technology within nation countries, and how that affects the national energy plans of countries. Since last year, we've made really good progress. At the time I saw you, we had about 12 countries, engineering associations involved in the project, and that represented over 1 million registered engineers worldwide. So it was very large then, and since then, we had a very successful COP16, and we included another 7 or 8 countries last year. And just as of this morning, I'm pleased to say that we've also agreed with the Chinese engineers, through Tsinghua University, that they're going to involve themselves with the project too. So we've already had a successful COP17.
Okay. I mean, it would seem kind of obvious maybe to those outside of the climate change debate that engineers, one way or the other, should be involved. How comes they've not been involved to the extent they are now? And what will it mean to the climate change debate that there are now so many of you involved?
Yeah, I think probably engineers and people would say that engineers have been involved through companies, particularly looking at innovative technologies and how that is transferred to from country to country, particularly from the developed world to the developing world. But in terms of the voice of the professional body of engineers, that hasn't really been so obvious within the UN processes. And I think that's building up, because the UN has the Technology Transfer Initiative being agreed upon at the moment, which should be in place by about 2014. And we hope that the voice of the engineers can be fed into that technology transfer mechanism. So we very much hope that engineers can have a real scientific and rational and numerate quantitative input to how our industries will have to rise to the challenge of reducing the greenhouse gas emissions that are talked about here.
And that challenge is being applied in India. Can you explain to me at what stage we are in India and the work that's going to be done here?
The Institution of Engineers India was involved from the first phase of the project from 2008 onwards, and we were the only developing country and project partner in this project, and we started working on the 4 special sectors, because India being a large country and the time was too less. We worked for 1 year, and so we focused on the 4 sectors. We were focusing on the power, agriculture, transportation, and construction sector, and the results were very, very interesting, in the sense that IPCC 4th assessment report says that temperatures need to be kept 2 degrees or lesser than that, and we found out the way that how it can be done. So our project study results reveal that the emissions can be reduced by 70% by 2020 by having 3 main practices. One is energy efficiency, other is reducing the deforestation, and the third is use of the low carbon energy resources, and especially with the special focus on the renewable energy.
The figure 70% reduction you're talking about is a very bold claim, a very impressive figure. I mean, have the government and have the industry been receptive to your ideas? Do they believe the 70% figure?
I think they believe, but there are some problems, like there are some policy-related problems in between. And then also we need to focus on the technology transfer, and also then we need to address the issues like IPR and adaptation of the technologies. So I think if even the UNFCCC or the national governments also, if they try to focus on the technology transfer and adaptation of the technologies by addressing the issues related to IPR, probably that the results are achievable. It's not impossible.
Thank you. And where do you go from now? You know, you've got more engineers on board. You know, you're here at COP17. What is the message that this larger body of engineers is hoping to put forward here in Durban?
Well, you just asked the question about how we link with governments. For instance, the UK angle on that would be that the government in the UK has had a target of 80% reduction since 2008 towards 2050. And the idea of what we're trying to do as engineers within this project is actually be hand in hand with the governments to say, okay, that's a really good strident target. Is it achievable? From within the industry and within the professional body of engineers, is that achievable? And we believe in this international network of engineering associations that we will be stronger as globally, if you like, if all of us are coming together, sharing the technology challenges, the technological challenges that we face with these national energy plans and national climate change plans. So we hope that we will grow and integrate strategic, large countries, developed countries, and also developing countries. So like Shalini was saying, implementation of this, particularly in the developing countries, they will be able to learn from the mistakes made in history, and we can implement some of the technologies at best practice. So that's our hope, that by sharing the knowledge within the engineering community worldwide, we will be able to be better, quicker towards 2050.